You've you've bought courses and you've read books and you've seen videos and you've listened to audios, and they all tell you what to do, and very few of them tell you how to do it. And this is the beauty of hypnosis, because we can actually change some of your programming. When the critical faculty is bypassed, we can begin to make some changes at your direction to what's going on in your unconscious mind. We can change some of those core beliefs, those things that had seemed so protective back in the past, so that instead of being on the lookout for things that could go wrong, being sorting for the stuff that is problematic in life, you're sorting for the things that are helpful, the things that are useful. If you've ever bought a new car, you've had a bit of this phenomenon. You buy a new car, you're driving it to work the very first day, you're driving down the road and you're saying, wow, there's a car just like mine. There's another car just like mine. They're different make, different year, but that's another car just like mine. They were there yesterday, but you didn't notice them yesterday, because that critical faculty is a filter, but it's an adjustable filter. And remember, your unconscious mind has one job that it does a bunch of different ways, that job being to protect you. And this is your unconscious mind's way of showing you, hey, look, all these other people dropped a whole bunch of money on the same depreciating asset you did. You're in good company. So when you're hypnotized to start looking at life in a more resourceful way, to find the good and the beauty that's been there all along, that filter gets adjusted, and this becomes a habitual way of thinking. That's the problem that a lot of us have. We don't just have physical habits, we have mental habits. We think about the world in a certain way, and it works to the extent that it keeps us alive. And our neurology sees us in a particular situation. We respond in a certain way, which may not be the most resourceful way, but we come out of it the other side intact. Now, we were going to come out of it the other side intact anyway, but the unconscious mind doesn't know that. It's looking at the situation and saying, I did a thing, my person survived, I'll do it even more and better next time. Which is why a lot of issues just get worse and worse and worse until you get some intervention to make the change that you're looking for. And that's what I help people do. I help people begin to develop this success mindset so that you're able to remember that you're resourceful. You're looking for the things that are better and helpful and good in life, so that you begin to believe that there's lots of those things out there. They were there yesterday. You just didn't notice them. But you can. You just need to learn how. And I can help your mind learn how to do that. I've been doing it with my clients for 24 years. And it's a wonderful thing to see that look on somebody's face when they realize that they're going to be starting to approach living in a way that assumes success. Now, here's a little inside baseball stuff. One of the things that I do with my clients, and I try to teach this to other hypnotists, is to use your language to focus on what you want to happen rather than what you don't want to happen. A good example of this is quitting smoking, because linguistically, quitting smoking is problematic. I mean, think about what you call somebody who doesn't smoke. It's non-smoker, right? Linguistically, that establishes smoking as the norm. And there's no easy way out of that. So I do a bunch of other stuff to make sure that we can overcome that. It's not an insurmountable hurdle. It's just something that ideally wouldn't be that way. And I've talked to a lot of people who come from a lot of different countries and they speak a lot of different languages. And one of the things I'll ask somebody who I know if their native language is in English, I'll ask them, is there a way to describe somebody who doesn't smoke in your native language that does not refer back to smoking? I've yet to find anybody who said, oh yeah, we call it this, because I'd love to have that. I'd love to use it. But when I'm working with somebody, for example, who wants to lose weight, very early on in the session, I changed the conversation. So we're not talking about losing weight anymore. We're talking about becoming your ideal size and shape. I don't talk about failure. I talk about lack of success. I don't talk about um, a lot of my clients, especially my weight loss clients, they'll go on a vacation and they'll come back and they'll say things, well, I fell off the wagon, or my favorite, I crashed and burned. Okay, but let's think about the origins of these phrases for a second. Fell off the wagon. You're riding down the road on this big wagon that's being drawn by horses or oxen or something like that, and you fall off. And this is the part that a lot of people don't understand. This is where that comes from. And you are crushed by the wheels of the cart. Crashed and burned. That's fairly self-explanatory. That's a fighter pilot thing. You crash your plane and you burn. None of these things happened because you had a slice of cheesecake. You were on vacation. You were indulging yourself. And we can talk about what that should mean or what it can mean. But you did something out of the norm. Well, you were doing a bunch of stuff that's out of the norm. You probably don't live in Cancun, but you were in Cancun for a week. And you probably don't live in the Smoky Mountains. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But a lot of people visit the Smoky Mountains for vacation. And so you're going to do something, you're going to have some fun. You're going to have fun with your experiences, and part of those experiences are eating food. So I encourage my clients to not compare themselves in those situations to the ideal that they've set for themselves, this perfect person who only eats stuff that's good for them, but to compare themselves to themselves in the same position last year or last week or last month. And when you do that, just about everybody I work with goes from, oh man, I crashed and burned to, yeah, I did do better, didn't I? When you change the way you think about things, and that involves what you focus on, the way you talk about it, you begin to change the way you feel about things. And most importantly, you change the way you feel about yourself. And I mean, that's the thing, changing how you feel about yourself so that you do deserve to be happy and healthy. You do deserve to go out and achieve things. You do deserve to feel safe enough to do things that are new and different and outside of your comfort zone. You do deserve to have a life where you don't eat just the same five things all the time and sit on your ass and watch TV and smoke dope or whatever it is that you've been doing before now, instead of the thing that's going to get you what you want. I help people do that. Did I mention that I love my job? I kind of love my job.